Hey, welcome to Let the Light In. Today we are talking about the Viltrox 28mm f4.5 autofocus lens, and this is a full frame lens coming in at the price point of $99 US. Now let's go through the lens and its build quality. Its front lens cap is actually built in and integrated into the front of the lens. It's a little slide there at the front that will open it up. The back lens cap, if we take it off, actually takes up about a third of the lens's size, of the lens's width. So you take the lens cap off and you immediately lose about 1/3 of the size of the lens in depth right there. There is no weather sealing on the back of the lens, but they did somehow manage to include a USB-C input into the back of the lens, and that probably honestly goes about halfway through the lens itself. Now, this is obviously ultra thin, ultra light, and very easy to port around. Now, there is no aperture ring, there is no focus ring, there is very little kind of feature-wise to this lens because it is made to be extremely small and extremely portable. So no manual focus on this lens, it is autofocus only. So speaking about autofocus did well in tracking moving subjects. In fact, it even impressed me with its ability to operate with an obstructed view. Now, I would definitely not say that autofocus on this lens in video mode is quick and snappy, but rather it does provide slow and smooth transitions. And when I say slow, it's not that it's you're waiting forever to get there. It's just a nice smooth transition. So perhaps slow isn't even the right word. It provides nice smooth focus transitions and focus pulls without a skippy feeling, a really kind of quick skippy feeling that can happen with other autofocus motors. So in the focus pull test, this lens performed very well, giving smooth and accurate focus pulls, transitions from foreground to background, even when our foreground object was placed into the front right corner where it didn't have a great amount of lighting to help the lens spot it out. Even in that front right corner, it still was able to make those focus pulls nice, smooth, and accurately. Now you can see in that focus pull test that focus breathing is definitely going to be present on this lens, but at least your transitions, your focus pulls are nice and constantly smooth. Now, chromatic aberrations, I didn't really run into any problems here, although you can see I wasn't really dealing with harsh lighting in this beautiful Canadian winter where the skiing is nice. The sky is also been pretty consistently gray. So as far as chromatic aberrations, really pushing it to its limit, I didn't really run into any problems here, and that also goes with lens flaring as well. Now this lens does not come with a lens hood, so flaring is probably going to be a difficulty that you are going to run into depending on what angle you're shooting at, what environment you are shooting at, and because of the lack of adaptability that is coming with this lens, right? You can't, there's no lens hood, you can't change the aperture itself. All you can do is change the focus point. The outcome of your image is largely going to be dependent upon the lighting conditions that you are working with. So keep that in mind. Now, overall, I would say that this lens kind of has a retro or vintage feel to it. It's kind of built that way. If you are looking almost for kind of a street photography type lens and you're trying to build a Sony A7IV kind of replica on the Sony platform, then this lens is going to be great for you. It's small, it's very discreet, especially on the camera body that I'm using, the Sony A7IV. You can barely notice it, and actually you are never actually almost hardly ever holding on to the lens. You're pretty much always just holding on to the camera body itself. So very discreet option if you are going out and doing some street photography. But if you are looking for a quick to have on hand, easy, lightweight, portable, even put it in your pocket type lens that is going to give you kind of that retro vibe and autofocus only, then this is definitely a viable option for you. Just keep in mind that you're not going to have the flexibility to adapt to the various lighting situations that you may find yourself in. Now, in lower light conditions, this lens did still perform adequately well. You can see some bokeh in the background there. It's rather small just because of the lighting subjects that we're working with. It was able to produce it, although it is a little bit sharp in the bokeh, not nice and round and circular. But this lens, the Viltrox 28 f4.5 full frame lens, you're getting a full frame lens for $99 US. It's tiny, it's cheap, and it does perform its job in a respectable manner. So if you are interested in purchasing this lens, the links can be found down below. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful day, and remember to let the light in.